Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you the very best way to winterize your pressure washer. Normally, winterizing a pressure washer is a pretty big hassle. It involves using an air compressor to try to blow all the water out from inside the machine and hope that you've gotten it all out so that there's none remaining to freeze and bust open your machine during the winter. It takes a long time. You're never sure that you've been 100% successful. It's just a big hassle all around. The method I'm going to show you here is a lot better. Not only is it way faster, it takes like 5 minutes tops, but it's guaranteed to work every time. So let's get started. Start by gathering some fuel stabilizer, some fresh motor oil, an oil funnel, a small oil drain pan, a short length of hose with a quick release on one end and an oil funnel on the other, and a socket wrench that matches the size of your machine's drain plug. Next, you want to shut off the fuel valve so that you can drain the carburetor of gas. Start up your machine, and depending on how long it's been sitting, this might take a few attempts. But once you get it started, leave it running until it eventually starts to run ragged, letting you know that the carburetor is almost empty of gas. Continue letting it run until the engine completely sputters to a stop. That will ensure that your carburetor is empty and won't gum up with bad gas over the winter. Next, I like to top off my pressure washer's gas tank with fresh gas and then add a little bit of fuel stabilizer, about a tablespoon. I don't actually get an actual spoon, I just use the jug cap to add the right amount so that the fuel will remain stable and won't go bad as your machine sits dormant in storage during the winter months. Once you're done that, you want to grab your oil drain pan. I'm just using an old Tupperware container here, and slide it directly underneath the oil drain plug. Then grab a wrench and loosen off that plug. Make sure that your socket wrench is the correct size for the drain plug you've got, and once you've done the initial loosening with the wrench, you can usually loosen it the rest of the way with your fingers. Depending on where this is located on your pressure washer, it might take a little doing to get to it, but loosen it off and remove it, and allow all that old motor oil that's presumably been sitting in your machine for a while to drain out fully. Once it's fully drained, you can put the oil drain plug back in. Make sure you do it up good and snug, but not overly tight. It'll probably take 15 minutes or so for all the old oil to drain out completely. So make sure that there's not a remaining drip of old oil before you put that drain plug back in. And then once you put it back in, like I said, just make sure it's good and snug, but not so tight that you're in danger of stripping out the threads. Now that I've drained all the old oil from my pressure washer, I'm going to go ahead and open the oil reservoir cap, and I'm going to use that slanted orange funnel that I had earlier, put it inside the reservoir neck, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some fresh motor oil to leave my machine full of fresh oil for the winter, so it's good to go come spring. Now, the exact amount of oil is going to vary from one machine to the next, so it's a good idea to look at your owner's manual so you can add the right amount, but I usually just do it by eye, adding small amounts at a time, looking down the funnel and making sure that it's not actually overflowing out of the reservoir. Once you've added enough, you can remove the funnel, put the cap back on the jug of oil, and return the reservoir cap to its spot on your machine. Then you want to carefully dump the old oil that you drained into your drain pan using the funnel into an empty oil jug or other plastic container with a cap that you can seal, and then take it somewhere to be properly disposed of. My local auto mechanic has places he can get rid of this oil or have it refined into fresh oil again, so I usually bring my jugs of old used motor oil to him, and he's able to take care of that for me. The next step is really when the magic and the time saving happens compared to the typical way of winterizing pressure washers. Take that short length of hose with a quick release fitting on the end. In my case, this quick release fitting corresponds with the other side of a quick release I've put on the water inlet on my pressure washer. Snake that hose through the handle and attach the quick release to the machine, and make sure that the funnel is sitting securely in between the handle and the spot where the nozzles are kept, as you see here. Next, I'm going to take some non-toxic plumbing line AntiFreeze. I'm going to open the jug, and I'm just going to carefully pour some down the funnel through the hose and into the machine. The exact amount isn't too critical at all. You just want to make sure that you pour enough that it's sitting visibly in the funnel, but not in danger of overflowing the funnel. So about halfway up the sides of the funnel is what I find works best. Then you want to get a clean plastic container and place it just below the spot where the hose typically attaches to your pressure washer, and then pull the pull cord and cycle the engine repeatedly. Keep doing this until the plumbing line antifreeze works its way through the entire machine, including the metal manifold, and you'll eventually start to see the antifreeze spurt out of the water outlet and into your container that you're holding below that. Once you get a substantial amount of the antifreeze coming through, you can know that there is antifreeze all throughout the inner parts of the machine, and it is effectively protected against freezing, and you don't have to worry about purging the water like you typically would with pressure washer winterizing, which can be a huge pain and involves an air compressor and trying to blow out all the water. Very annoying. When you're done that, disconnect the quick release from the hose and drain the remaining antifreeze into your container as well. And then you can take that container and very carefully pour it back into the top of your jug of plumbing line antifreeze using the funnel. Since you've just used it for antifreeze, hopefully you haven't used the same one as you had oil on. This way you ensure that you don't waste any antifreeze. The only stuff you lose is the antifreeze going to good use inside your pressure washer, protecting it from freezing all winter by displacing the water. Once you're done all that, you're good to go. Your pressure washer is winterized and you don't need to worry about it. Well, thanks very much for watching my video on how I winterize our pressure washer here at our cabin in the woods. I really hope you found it useful and interesting. If you did, drop the video a like, leave a comment in the comments section, and share the video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the Cabin in the Woods channel for lots more great videos like this one.